So very recently I began my series of just like rating every single Poppy Playtime chapter, judging them off horror, gameplay, and all that. And it's been about, holy hell, 2 months since the first episode. I am horrible at making videos. But ignoring that, we're back with Poppy Playtime Chapter 2. Probably one of the most controversial, chapters in the series for multiple reasons that we're going to discuss farther into the video. But first, I kind of want to give, a list of what I rate a horror game on, because I kind of been just, jumbled up on what I rate a game on, especially on my past, rating videos. So, here's what I rate a game off, okay? So, first we have gameplay, then we have horror, then we have soundtrack, design sometimes, and then maybe atmosphere. Those are the few things you'll probably see in these videos. But sometimes I may or may not rate it on that because I'm either just lazy or the game just doesn't have horror or soundtrack. So now that that's over with, I'm gonna let future me talk to you guys, also known as just live action me. As I expressed many times, I feel that a lot of indie horror games sacrifice actual good gameplay and instead just use it to, I don't know, have the most scariest characters possible or the most marketable characters possible, making the characters look so, ironic and good-looking, they can sell, 1,000 plushies of them. FNAF does that fantastically. I'm not saying FNAF isn't scary, but more that I feel just some of the characters are made to have plushies made of them. But what I'm saying is, a lot of indie horror games just have horrible gameplay, or just trash gameplay, and instead just sacrificing it to try to be scary, or have, deep, complex lore. Poppy Playtime is okay. It's okay, it's perfectly in the middle. I'm not saying it's top-tier, revolutionary gameplay, it's in the middle. It can be better, but it's not bad. You see, the thing that sets it apart from, Baldi Basics, Vending Machine, and, Tattletale, is Poppy Playtime, instead of just having usual, a hand or a weapon, instead you have these things called grab packs, which basically just allows you to shoot your hands out and interact with the world around you, I guess. Doesn't sound too good, but actually it's pretty good. So what does Chapter 2 enhance from the first gameplay? Because as I said in the first video, that I feel like Chapter 1, they don't use the potential that the hands have to its full potential, you know? It's kind of just shooting hands. There's no really too complex things about it, except electricity and that. They do enhance it. They do, mechanic, but it's not like I'm jumping for joy. I'm stuck to the screen from how fun gameplay is. It's just perfectly in the middle. But does Chapter 2 enhance the gameplay? No.
No.
It does, but it's kind of like putting salt on already seasoned food, right? Let's say I take a potato, right? Put some slap your mama on that, some pepper, and then some salt, okay? It was already good as it is. You're just putting more shit on it. Basically what it adds is the new hand, which is a green hand, which allows you to absorb power from its inputs, and basically you can bring around power supplies for about 10 seconds. That's kind of all. Also, there's a swinging mechanic now. Which is okay, and also can be really scary when you're being chased by monsters and you have to, shoot up to get away from them. But other than that, there's no really, new gameplay. Besides mini games. Yeah. I'll get more into that in a second, but let me talk about the puzzles. Because as I said in the first game, the puzzles were okay. They weren't nothing crazy. They were okay. Chapter 2 has way more, due to the time span being stretched out more to about 2 hours, 1 hour. Just matters how quick you play it. The puzzles are okay. I feel some of them are used to more just waste your time. You could be walking down a hallway and they make you do a puzzle to open the door. Or, they make you do a puzzle to wipe your ass.
What?
But usually the puzzles are fun. My favorite puzzle actually includes the new mechanic about the green hand, where basically you have to drag this cart around and, open the doors in time. And it's fun. There's also a cameo of Jacksepticeye, which was cool to see. But now I can actually get into what I'm talking about with the mini-games. Because the mini-games are basically, there's 3 new characters and 3 new, missions you have. Because the main villain, which I'll get more into later, Mommy Longlegs, she forces you to go around and do these random mini games. One is basically just, how do I say this, red light, green light, but with a long, stretched out dog. The second one is muscle memory. And the third one, if I had to describe it, it's like a panic attack. Yeah, that's kind of all. I can explain it more in detail. Hold on. Alright, so the first game we're forced to play is Musical Memory, which is basically a bop it put on crack. Where basically we sit in the middle of this like odd little stage, and a bunch of colors flash, and we have to match them with the buttons around us. And as the game goes on, it slowly gets faster and more aggressive until adding new colors and random symbols until it basically just shuts down. And for it being the first puzzle we have to do, it's a pretty good one. It's a solid puzzle, especially with the end. It just gets rapidly more like stressful. And it's also a very good way to mix up the usual just walking around gameplay with something more fun and quick-paced like this. But I do have one problem with this minigame, and it's also a problem that carries on to the other two. And that's pretty much just how short these minigames are. I know they're supposed to be mini, but they could have made it at least like 6 minutes long. These are like a solid 2 minutes. It feels like you start the game, you blink, and it's already over. It's just a really waste of potential because, once again, these are kind of like breaks from the usual gameplay. So I feel they could have made it a lot longer and maybe gave the characters more, like, personality and stuff. Because they made all these cool character designs, like Bonzo Bunny or PJ Pugapillar. And then they just instantly kill them when the game is over. So we just never get to see these cool character designs again because they're dead. My idea of it is maybe they could have made us have like a little boss battle with the characters, like we beat their mini games and we have to fight them instead, not only having it be way longer, but also just way funner, and giving those characters more personality. But of course I still understand why they didn't do that. It would have costed a lot of money, it would also have made the game like 4 hours long, so I see why, but they could have at least just not killed the characters. They kind of feel like a way to just hype up the main antagonist instead of actually being side characters, because once again, she just kills them after we play with them. But I also see why they did it once again, because she's this insane character. It kind of shows how she's like this manipulative evil woman by, murdering people really easily. And it also just shows how easy it is for her to lash out or crash out whenever something doesn't go her way, so she just takes it out on other people and kills them. So honestly, the minigames are just like a 50-50, a bunch of cons and a bunch of pros on why it's good and bad. It being really short, killing off the characters, but also helping the antagonist and making her more insane and a cooler character. So pretty much the answer to the question if the minigames suck or not kind of just is based on your opinion and how you feel about the games, honestly, because it could go either way. But we've spent about like 8 minutes talking about the gameplay. I want to get on to something else, so let's talk about... I hear Chapter 2 and Chapter 1 get compared. Usually what I hear is that Chapter 1 is less scary. And I find that kind of odd, because from my personal opinion after playing the game, I somewhat agree, honestly. One of the main things I hear about is the design of the main villain, which, comparing the two, we have Huggy Wuggy, this 12-foot tall, razor-toothed, black-eyed monster, some blue, and then we have Mommy Longlegs, this colorful pink, no-teeth character. I certainly see what they're talking about with the designs being largely different with horror aspects, but I feel the main horror of Mommy Longlegs doesn't come from the design herself, but more of, like, her brain, her personality, because our first time meeting her, she rips off our hand. I shit myself playing that. Because I didn't expect her to, like, affect us. I didn't think she would rip out one of our items the first time we meet her. It made me shit myself. But the actual personality of her, the first couple of sentences she says to us is she wants to eat our organs while we're alive. Some of you either got turned on by that or got scared.
Jaking it. I'm jaking it.
She's insane, basically. all throughout the game, she's constantly either referencing killing us or just, like, yapping to herself. And the even scarier part is, after we get done playing the mini-games with each of the characters, we can hear her murder them. She's scary. The best way I can describe her personality is she's kind of like a bomb that, like a what's the word? Hold on. A damaged bomb, and that's all I can say. Because, like, you never know when it's gonna explode. She's constantly, like, twitching and quickly moving or slowly moving. You never know when she's just gonna lunge at you and eat you alive. So she's just really scary to be around. Especially once we break the rules of her games. And she has, like, a full-on panic attack and starts running around the whole building hunting for us. It was scary as shit. She's a scary character, more on personality terms than actual design, because comparing the two once again, Huggy Wuggy's definitely scarier. But another thing I hear a lot about the horror is that she talks. I just find that to be really stupid. You can have a scary villain that talks. I understand the horror from Huggy Wuggy is kind of just because, like, he's not intelligent. He's more of, like, an animal than an actual, like, intelligent being like Mommy Longlegs. The first time he pulls up, he's like this.
Oh, man, what the fuck is you doing, cuz?
Horrible recreation, but that's basically how he pulls up on us. He's scary. He just has, like, this blank look. Like, he's not really evil. Look at this. Look at that. That's scary. There's no, like, evil in the eyes. It's just, like, blank. So, yeah. He's definitely scarier with design, but I feel Mommy Longlegs' personality and, like, psychologically terms, she's definitely more scarier. But let's also talk about more important things like atmosphere. Because as I said in the first analysis for Chapter 1, I said that when they, like, atmosphere is a very important thing to have in a horror game. If you don't have good atmosphere, it instantly makes the whole game not scary. Because you can have Catnap, right? If he's in the dark, he's scary as shit. You put him in, like, a ball pit, or, like, you put him in some bright, colorful rainbow area, he's not scary. He just looks unscary. Not saying the design isn't scary, but you need a good atmosphere along with a good design, or else they won't work together. You need one for the other to work. So, is the atmosphere still good? Once again, somewhat. This game, Chapter 2 seems to be a mixed bag, because I feel the reason the atmosphere is, like, different, not because it literally changed, because looking at them side by side, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, nothing changed. They both look the exact same, but it's more of Chapter 1, we didn't really do too much. We kind of just walked around. It was really quiet. There wasn't much music, because this was a small, like, indie company. They didn't really have the budget to, like, have 10 out of 10 Toby Fox music playing in the background. We kind of did that a little bit. Chapter 2 rolls around. Not only is it, like, 2 hours long now, but also we're doing more. We have more gameplay. We have more puzzles. You do more instead of just walking around and going. Maybe once in a while, you, like, push a button. Now you're pushing buttons, fucking running around. I think you can crouch now. You're doing a whole bunch of shit. So I think the atmosphere is more, now it's more active and more fast-paced instead of slow-paced. Not saying that's a bad thing, of course, but I definitely see why people are complaining about it. But, honestly, it's not bad. I think Chapter 2, when it comes to horror, it's really good. Its music is one of my favorite things. Chapter 2 has given us some of the best Poppy Playtime music ever when it comes to horror. Like, one of them is, like, how do I explain it? What's that song? What is in my ear? My bad. You know, I forget the name of it. Hold on. The Spider, Water Sprout song. Yeah, they have, like, a remix of that plays in the background and kind of matches the main villain because she's a spider. They have a bunch of other ones that are really good. But we're going to get into music later in the video. Right now we're talking more about horror. Yeah, so... yeah, horror's okay. Horror's okay. This is a quick one, but I never really hear anyone talk about the soundtrack of Poppy Playtime. Usually they mention the characters, the criticism, or the gameplay, but I never really hear anyone talk about the songs in this game. And as I said in the Chapter 1 review, it's really good. All the songs have like this toyish piano music. It's all just really good. And it's just so weird to see no one speak about it because, once again, the music is just fantastic. Chapter 1's music, though it only had like 5 songs maybe, it was still really good. So, did Chapter 2 improve on that? Absolutely. And it carries on that idea with Chapter 1 of all of like the songs having this toyish sounding instrumental, but also now it matches the villains now, with a lot of the songs and soundtracks from Chapter 2 either referencing or having some type of implication of the spider, referencing, you know, the main antagonist of Chapter 2. That's kind of all I have to say about the soundtrack, is that it's good, because I don't really know how to talk about, like, music, because I'm not a musician. I'm more of just a gamer. I'm a nerd. I'm like a YouTuber, you know. I don't really know how to like rate music. I can tell when it's bad, but I can't like go into detail on how a song is good or bad. So that's kind of all I have to say, is that the soundtrack of Poppy Playtime is pretty good. But finally, my honest opinion and rating on the question that, is Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 a good sequel to Poppy Playtime Chapter 1? Yes. Though it does have its problems on the way it's kind of less scarier, it also has some really good cons on how it improves on the gameplay, gives us a new hand, honestly, in my opinion, a better antagonist, it gives us better music. There's just a lot of pros and cons about this chapter. It's a mixed bag, but that's pretty much how it goes with every chapter. Each chapter isn't perfect, but that's kind of what makes this series good. And if I had to rate it in like a regular form, it would probably be a solid 6.5 out of 10, maybe even a 7 on good days. But that's all. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later for my Chapter 3 review one day, in another 3 months probably.